All right, welcome back to Politically Homeless. I'm Dave, proving here what my mom said that two wrongs don't make a right. And quite honestly, the second wrong here is incomprehensible. And, the Trumpers, they've all left me because they thought, maybe they could persuade me to come around, vote for Trump, that Biden is just so bad and that this is the most important election in our lifetime. I don't even see it as an important election anymore. I really don't. I'm so tired of this. I'm so tired of politics. I'm so tired of hearing about Trump versus Biden. I am waiting for the no labels folks to announce who they've got. I'm not going to necessarily love that either because there's going to be no COVID accountability anywhere. None. So that's going to be up to us to figure that out. If you're one of those people, if you're not one of those people and you think super safe and effective and nothing to worry about, then that's fine. But anyway, Josh Power, who I follow over on X, says, growing up in the Deep South, my grandmother, who was born in 1912, told me there used to be a night of the week when only Black people went out to eat. It was reserved just for them at local restaurants. I think it was Monday night. And so he posts this article from Fox News. He says, same vibes here. This is not progress. London Play will have all Black audience nights to allow experience free from the white gaze. Okay. Well, I wrote here, I think they used to call this segregation. And so Josh says, I think you're right. Someone comes up here and says, how is this different from Trump rallies? Those are all white. Now, I'm going to correct this person here. They are mostly white. There are Black people who attend Trump rallies, but they are predominantly white. Let's just be accurate. So this person here, again, I'm not agreeing with all of these colors. This is a vote blue person, and I'm not voting blue. I'm not going to go in with all these flags, okay? I'm not going to hashtag BLM. But they record this woman, and it's pretty embarrassing, all right? It's pretty embarrassing. So here goes. Here's the questions and the answers from the Trump supporter who happens to be a woman. All right, here we go.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was a revolution.
What does that look like to you?
Total mayhem. But I think it's going to be the only choice that some people see.
They say Joe Biden wins the White House again. You don't believe that he actually does. How does Trump come into power then?
It may be up to us.
Okay, it may be up to us. So what they're already telegraphing here, and I don't know if this comes from Trump himself, who again has to start talking about how this election cycle is screwed up. It's all rigged. And I've said this in other videos, and nobody ever gives me a decent answer. So what's different about 2024? Isn't it still rigged? And nobody responds. And Trump himself has said something like the courts have to get tough. Okay, well, the courts right now are looking at evidence that, you may not be able to even be on the ballot. Okay, they're looking at evidence from the district court to decide what to do with you about the whole J6 thing. And Trump is doing a masterful job, I might add, for you Trumpers who like this strategy. He is delaying and stalling, and his hope is to win the election so then he can pardon himself. And I'm not sure he can pardon himself from state-related charges. I don't think he can. Anyway, let's pick this up again.
Maybe up to us.
Is that a physical takeover of the White House?
Could be. And it wouldn't just be the White House, it would be the country.
The Pentagon?
Sure.
And you think that human life could be a consequence of that?
It could be. It's called collateral damage and the cost of war.
Okay, yeah, I know the Trumpers, they're going to hone in on the MSNBC person, but this apparently was an interview that MSNBC did, and I don't trust any news organization. I mean, these guys have a left bias, obviously, whereas Fox News, they have a right bias. So I don't know where you get honest news, but all this guy was doing here was asking this person some questions. And they're basically talking about a civil war. Now, I didn't spell right here, so I wrote dame instead of same. I agree that the Trump rallies are the other side of the same coin. I'll have to delete that and put it back out there. Although we're talking to a woman here, so maybe it is the dame coin, might be the damn coin. I don't know. So on one hand here, these are the extremes, and this is why I'm over the grifting on either side. I've got people who are wanting me to believe in conspiracy theories so they can look at me in a positive light. Like, okay, you don't believe in what happened with a particular natural, what I believe to be a natural disaster. But then you've got all the crazy theories that it has to be this or it has to be that. And I've talked to a few experts and they tell me, no, this wasn't a conspiracy. Okay, so I don't belong to your club. I'm not in your club. I am skeptical. By the way, I'm skeptical across the board where, yeah, I'm willing to consider some crazy theories, but we can't even agree on the basics anymore. We can't agree, for instance, that we should have a border security bill, a bipartisan border security bill. Why does it all have to be on one side? Both sides have a political interest in this, and I don't care about politics. I want to see something get done. And then I'm going to hear, oh, well, if it's not Trump's bill, the Border Patrol Union said it was better than anything Trump wanted to do. And MAGA Mike Johnson is basically just holding the whole thing up. So getting back to this, segregation is a bad idea. An all white or an all black audience, those are bad ideas. But I will say this, you do have the freedom to associate with who you want to associate with. I think the second part of this to me is almost worse. Okay, it's almost worse. These people, though, are saying how they feel out loud. And I'm not sure if it would go over well if a white person came along and said, you know, I just don't want to be around those people over there. And so I think we should have an all white presentation of whatever. And then someone comes along and says, how is this? And they're trying to do moral equivalency. See the Trump rally? And this is really bad. And this is why a lot of Americans who might support some of the ideas of Donald Trump are coming along and saying his followers are crazy. I mean, that's a disqualifier. That's a non-starter. Like, yeah, I like a lot of conservative ideas. I would like to see the border maybe shut down for a while, or maybe a process that is fair to everyone. I may go in on certain ideas that Trump has on foreign policy, although the predominant foreign policy establishment is not in Donald Trump's corner. Who the heck is Donald Trump going to hire if he wins? There's nobody who believes in the stuff that Trump wants to do when it comes to foreign policy. He seems to admire dictators like Kim Jong-un and Vladimir Putin and President Xi. I mean, and you can hear him praising these people all the time. So I'm not making this stuff up. So when these people come along and they say, yeah, we're going to have to take over the Pentagon, that's not what she said. It's kind of what she said. She implied that there would be collateral damage. And then this stuff goes out to the more left-wing media who are very skeptical and then Fox News, who isn't skeptical. See, I learned something about journalism not too long ago, is that you're going to get the best information about someone when that other party has a vested interest in doing a thorough investigation. Otherwise, it's just going to be kind of just on the surface, very perfunctory. And all I can say is that even though I disagree with either one of those channels, the Fox News is in the tank for Trump, right? MSNBC in the tank for Joe Biden. But I've been saying this on Twitter for a while, X, whatever you want to call it, is that Donald Trump makes Joe Biden possible. If they could run somebody who wasn't a jerk, who could speak English properly, who wasn't just flying off the handle every 10 seconds. Is Donald Trump a good example for your children? I know Mike Huckabee has a book that he sells to kids who love President Trump. Why? Because he knows how to grab women in the right spot? I mean, what are you guys doing? I've got evangelical friends who tried to support Trump, but then their conscience just, it tore them apart after a while. That's like God's Holy Spirit speaking to them saying, yeah, you can't go around supporting this. This isn't good. And yeah, you can justify it now that Trump has put out his plan for 15-week abortions, right? Which would allow like 95%. Evangelicals, there's no reason for you guys to be supporting Donald Trump for president. There's no reason. Oh, Supreme Court justices. That's already happened. That's already happened. Yeah, I know. They're after Clarence Thomas because his wife was all in communicating back and forth with people during the whole J6 riot. That's a good look, huh? He probably needs to recuse himself from some of these Trump cases, but that's probably not going to happen because we have hyper tribalism even at the Supreme Court level. Folks, you can do, I mean, this is all, look, all right, I'm having trouble here because I'm starting to get very black-pilled. Does this even matter? Does it really matter? I don't think this election is important at all. I don't. I don't think the country is going to come together. And if Donald Trump won, do you think that would be good for the country, that the country would rally behind Trump? No. Biden wins. We're going to continue to have the same stagnation that we have. Biden is struggling, just to say the least. He's struggling just to get through the easy stuff. He doesn't have to do much. They both went to the southern border. It was grandstanding. It was photo ops. I don't know who did worse. It was bad on both sides. And why hasn't Biden been to the border before this moment? Why hasn't he been there? And Trump apparently is waving at immigrants on the other side. But somebody will correct me. Somebody will say, no, he was waving at Melania, who was on the Mexican side. She was over there with the cartels, just hanging out, smoking a couple of doobies. I mean, everything's fine. I mean, stop it, Dave. Well, I've unsubscribed. Well, thank you for telling me you unsubscribed. I appreciate that. You know, I don't know what I'm saying that is wrong, other than I'm not playing the cult. I'm not, you know, my cult is not a cult. It's actually a real faith in God. And I don't put any earthly ruler or king above the King of Kings. Sorry. And I call it like I see it. If somebody is acting like a reprobate, I'm going to call it out. I don't want Trump. I don't want Biden. And yeah, I'm willing to compromise to move the country forward. I'm not going to get probably half the things I want. But if I could get a couple of things, can we just turn the flow of immigration down? Like turning the radio station, the volume down a little bit. Can we do that? Well, we could have. I've read like multiple reports now coming from Trump himself. And he's not bashful. He's not shy about telling everybody that he was the reason that that border security bill went nowhere. But oh, it wasn't good enough because, you know, some would get in. Guess what? 4,000 a day were getting in under Donald Trump. So yes, it went up under Biden because he had to appease his AOC wing, which apparently just wants the country to turn into South America. That's, you know, that's their goal. I would like to see a fair, equitable immigration policy for asylum seekers, for people who truly want a better life here. I don't want to see a whole bunch of military-aged guys coming through with, you know, prison records and so forth. I would like to not see that, but you need to have a process. And we could so easily do that. I mean, it was Newt Gingrich said, like, how many years ago, do e-verify. And if you can't do e-verify, then, you know, yeah, bring the military in, not to militarize the border, but to help with administrative stuff. Or contract it out to somebody. Find a company who will do it. I'm sure Raytheon would be glad to do something like this. And at least they're not, you know, dropping bombs on people. They're just trying to help people with asylum if they're worthy of asylum. But we don't have a system. They even had remain in Mexico as part of the deal. At least the latest offer, we've got one Democrat and one Republican in Congress as part of the problem solvers caucus, but nobody wants to solve problems because everybody just wants to use them as political ammunition against one side or the other. So anyway, I just thought this would be helpful to show this particular person saying what they had to say. And it's kind of sad, really. It's kind of sad. You have that, which is sad. And then you have this, which is equally sad. I'm just going to play this one more time.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was a revolution.
And by the way, there are a whole bunch of people that want to blow the whole thing up. Do you understand what that would mean in modern day society? This isn't 1860, okay? The type of weapons that are out there, this is beyond nuts. This person is right, even though I probably disagree with about 80% of their politics.
What does that look like to you?
Total mayhem. But I think it's going to be the only choice.
She's like, total mayhem. And she almost smiles a little bit when she says total mayhem. She's not concerned about it. And look at this place. I don't know which Trump rally this was, but this thing is packed. And she's got all of this Trump stuff. I mean, man, buttons all over the place. I don't see any enthusiasm like this for people who go to church, people who are even fans of sports teams. I don't see this kind of enthusiasm. It's really weird. Anyway.
That some people see.
They say Joe Biden wins the White House again. You don't believe that he actually does. How does Trump come into power then?
It may be up to us.
Is that a physical takeover of the White House?
Could be. And it wouldn't just be the White House, it would be the country.
All right. I want to zoom back a little bit here. So if you notice, this woman is wearing, that looks like some sort of angel or cross-like thing. Pin. All right. So she's advertising that she's a Christian. Of course, we've got the "Don't Tread on Me." We've got the American flag. This, I mean, and you're hearing a lot about Christian nationalism. And I used to hate that term because I'm a Christian and I love my country. But I do not want to be associated with these people ever, ever.
Could be. And it wouldn't just be the White House, it would be the country.
The Pentagon.
Sure.
And you think that human life could be a consequence of that?
It could be. It's called collateral damage.
Collateral damage. All right. I've had enough. I've had enough. So this woman who's a Christian, right? Turn the other cheek. Jesus said, love your enemies. But there could be some collateral damage. Wonder how you justify that. How does that sort of square with the gospel of Jesus Christ? I guarantee you, if you ask this woman, do you believe in Christ? She would say, oh, yeah. Are you saved? She would go, oh, yeah, I'm saved. Yeah, I believe in Jesus. I'm going to heaven. Okay, well, blessed are the peacemakers. All right. This doesn't look very peacemaking to me. And we need to pray for this country. If you're not the praying type, then you need to go out there and vote. I'm not telling you to vote for Joe Biden. There are going to be third-party options out there. And I read an article today, something like 92% of the country, 92 now, says they're not looking forward to Trump against Biden again. Trump's base is a very small portion of the electorate. And this is what the Trumpers need to understand. They are a subset of a subset. And even though it looks pretty powerful, you got Newsmax and Fox, Real America's Voice, and all of the independent stuff over on Rumble, they look the other way. Even some of these progressives who are looking the other way when it comes to Trump and kind of feeling bad for him, feeling sorry for him. He's a victim. Okay, but this is your average Trump supporter. There's going to be collateral damage. And there are a lot of anarchists on the left that will join in with this for completely different reasons. And so I'm not looking forward to that. I want peace. I want our country to heal. I want people to get along. I want people to come up with solutions to problems. I want to compromise on issues while still advocating for my point of view. So if you want a country like that, then you really have to think about how you're going to vote. And it's March, okay? It's a long way until November. This is like the fourth quarter in a football game where they keep stopping the clock. This is going to go on forever. Doesn't look good. Doesn't look good. And the Trumpers, they'll open their mouth and they'll say stuff like this, and it will get onto the national news. And the independents, the people who you need to win an election, are going to do some heavy-duty cringing. And you'll see people are saying about my videos, these videos aren't going to age well come November. Say Trump somehow does win. The stuff that happens after he wins is probably going to be the stuff that breaks this country up. Is Trump going to heal the divide? Is he going to be a peacemaker? No, he's going full steam ahead. He believes, and the people around him believe, that he just didn't go hard enough the first time around. And now he's going to take full advantage of the dictates, the executive orders. He's going to turn the presidency into something that the founding fathers would have never, ever advocated for. They left all the tyranny to start a republic, a democracy and a republic. And so I think we're about to lose our republic. That's my humble point of view. Thanks for watching. God bless everyone. Pray for this country. We need to pray, but we also need to act and we need to vote.